Welcome back to Universe. I'm Andrew, and today I'm playing Avatar: The Last Airbender, Crossroads of Destiny, playing through a campaign, which will play through many of the scenarios in the book, but not all of them. This is the third scenario in the campaign path that I've chosen so far. This is Siege of the North Pole. This is going to be a 2 out of 5 difficulty. We've got 7 XP going into this scenario. And we've reduced Fire Nation dominance from its starting 20 down to 14. It means our characters have some improved cards in their decks. We also have an ally. We've got the blue spirit that we can use at some point to make our basic action attacks do +1, and fire tiles do hit us for 1 less damage. I can invoke the blue spirit once during this scenario. If you've missed the previous episodes and would like to catch up, there's a link in the description. But either way, you're welcome to join me. I've chosen Aang and Sokka to team up for this one. The introduction says, Team Avatar's long journey to the North Pole culminates in a major battle against the Fire Nation Armada. As fiery attacks rain down, Admiral Zhao infiltrates the Northern Water Tribe capital to kill the Moon Spirit, Tui. This unthinkable crime will deprive all waterbenders of their powers and cause irreparable damage to the world's spiritual balance. Team Avatar must stop Zhao in time. So here you can see our map setup. We've got some Earth and some other elements. Prince Zuko's here again. We've got 2 starting spaces available, but I didn't choose those 2. Instead, I've got Sokka starting up in this starting space and Aang over there. Kind of some flanking positions. We've got a couple benders and Admiral Zhao in the background or back over there. In the middle, those yellow spaces are pawn spaces, and at the start of each hero's turn, you discard a card if any enemies are there. So we want to keep the enemies out of the sacred pond. We are allowed to interact with enemies on this scenario in order to move them to spaces. We can push them around a little bit, although unlike the first scenario, we can't push them off a boat. And then over here we can see the special tokens that can come out. They can cause Admiral Zhao to heal and then move toward the center of the pond, or the explosive event, which would cause Prince Zuko to move toward Admiral Zhao and burst attack against all heroes and enemies. So he's starting to become a little bit unreliable for everybody here. Our objectives are to defeat Admiral Zhao. That will reduce Fire Nation dominance by 1. And as a bonus, if we get Zuko down 2, is of course, again, infinity health. We can reduce it by 2 more. So that would be really nice. And unlike the previous 2 scenarios where we had Fire Nation soldiers and benders, this time we just have 2 benders along with Prince Zuko and Admiral Zhao. And you can see Zhao is now that flag icon, whereas Zuko is that fire icons. The benders are starting with 6 health for 2 players. Zuko has 6 and Zhao has 8. Speaking of hit points, one friendly commenter pointed out that I was playing slightly incorrectly because these hero boards have 2 sides. So I was playing on the 4-player side, where as far as I can tell, everything is the same except for the hit point values. I was playing with 8 hit points. In a 2-player mode, actually we get 10 hit points. So I've set Aang and Sokka's hit points correctly this time to 10. Again, if they get down to 4, they will take a wound, so we want to avoid that. And then on the right side, you can see their basic actions. We can discard 1 card to move 1 space. We can discard 2 cards to make a close attack. And we can discard 2 cards to interact. And again, interact on this board is going to be to push an enemy or move them 2 spaces. Sokka has this strategist ability. After playing a plan, it gets set aside and he gets to use it again next turn. And Aang, his basic actions are basically the same except for he has a range attack rather than a close attack. And then his air nomad ability as a basic action, he can play 1 card to place an air tile anywhere, which would interact with his other abilities. Normally the elements don't do anything. We've already got 2 air out on the board along with 3 fire, 2 water, and 2 earth. Only fire deals a damage to heroes when they touch. Otherwise, none of the elements do anything unless specifically activated by an ability. I haven't drawn the player's hands, but I'll draw them as we start. So let's see who's going to go first. Normally, we're supposed to flip these tiles, these White Lotus tiles, and shuffle them around. I'm not going to shuffle just 2 tiles, so I'll roll a die. Aang will be odd, 2 is even, so we'll have Sokka take the first action. All right, I'll draw 5 cards from his deck. I think I am going to draw Aang's cards to get an idea of what he might want to do on his turn as well. Because if we were playing cooperatively, we could all be talking about what we plan and what we have. So I'm thinking I've got 2 main strategies I could go for. One is try to beat Admiral Zhao as quickly as possible before before this Moonslayer action gets triggered, which would heal him for 3 and move him toward the center of the pond, which would cause at least one player to have to discard a card, and we would kind of have to like either beat him or figure out how to get him out of the pond. Oh, although if I beat him, that is the only objective of this scenario. If I beat him, the scenario ends. So I guess I don't want to do that, which means I probably want to do the other plan, which is don't do any damage to him because he'll just heal for 3. Although we're going to have to figure out how to get him out of the pond. At some point, he's going to move in there. If we beat Zuko, he doesn't actually go down because he has infinite health. So even if we get him down to that symbol, he stays on the board and continues to act. That is worth 2 Fire Nation dominance, which is good. We do want to do that, but probably not right away. So I guess I want to deal with these benders first. There are 2 benders, but they share health. They are strength. They have 6, and if that 6 reaches 0, they're both removed. So I guess that's how I'm going to start out. So I'm going to start out by spending one of Sokka's blank cards. So these cards don't really do anything other than you can discard them to activate basic actions. I want to move Sokka 1 space. So I'm going to discard 1 card to move him 1 space. And we'll go right up next to this bender so that he can do close attacks. And I'm going to play this Be the Hero, which is a plan card. So based on his strategist ability, after he plays it, that will go onto or above his hero dashboard and gets to use it again next turn, although that's actually not going to happen. We'll see why in a second. But for now, we're just going to resolve this. It says do a free basic action. I'm going to choose the basic action of doing a close attack, which normally would cost 2 cards, but this one lets me do it for just this card ability. I also get to heal 1, but we're also already at full health. So we're going to do a free basic action of 1 damage and reduce the Fire Nation Bender track from 6 to 5. That would resolve this, so we'll put that on here. Then I'm going to play Experienced Leader. So this is one of his upgrade powers, a new powerful card. You can see it does not have the starter symbol in the bottom right. Got this through experience. It says one other hero may do all the actions on the cards above Sokka's mat. Unfortunately, we just have 1 right now, but that Be the Hero we just played is going to let Aang do a free basic action and heal 1. And Aang's basic action will also be attack. This time it is a range attack. Again, it would also normally cost 2, but for him it's just going to do it as part of resolving Experienced Leader, resolving Be the Hero. So 1 damage range attack. Aang has a straight shot right here, just straight across, and he can hit that Fire Nation Bender for 1 damage. And looks like I had to stand kind of backward. They'll turn him around. 1 damage more to the Fire Nation Benders, puts them down to 4. That finishes the Experienced Leader card. If we had more plans up, he could do more stuff, but that's what we drew. Then I'm going to play War Club. It says place a card from your hand or card from above your mat on top of your deck. We're going to take Be the Hero from on top of our mat and put it on top of our deck. To pay the cost of that, if we do, close attack 2, which means he does 2 damage to somebody next to him. So we're going to do 2 more damage to the Fire Nation Benders there. And then Momo is his last card. Momo's a card that everybody's got in their deck. It says when discarded to do basic actions, he counts as 2 cards. So close attack costs 2 cards. Momo counts as both of those 2. So we're going to do 1 more close attack for 1 more damage, putting the Fire Nation Benders down to 1. Making good progress there. Now Sokka will end his turn. We'll draw 5 new cards for him to use on his next turn. And we have to pull one of these tokens. I mixed them up before the beginning of the game, but we'll just do it again right now. And I'll grab this one and we get a blank. So blank is okay. That means we are not resolving either Moonslayer or Explosive. It also means there's a draw card, I think. That'd be a good one to get, is everybody gets to draw a card, but that's fine. So we'll just put that here, and Aang can take his turn. I've already drawn the cards. And I just need to do one more damage to the benders. And then I guess I would start on Zuko, because I do want those extra 2 points. And again, if I beat Admiral Zhao before Zuko, I would lose out on that opportunity. So let's spend a Momo for Aang to do a, counts as 2 cards, to do a range attack of 1 damage, hitting this bender again, reducing them to 0, which means they're both taken off. Still got 4 more cards to work with, but 3 of them are the blanks. A little disappointed by this staff twirl. I mean, the card's good as a starting card. If he's close to an air tile, he can make a close attack for 2 damage. Hit somebody next to him for 2. But that would mean he needs to be next to an enemy and next to an air tile. And with 3 cards available for moving, I could go 1, 2, 3 and be next to Zuko, but then I wouldn't be next to air. I could go 1, 2, 3 to be next to Zhao, but then he wouldn't be next to air. He'd be 1 away from that air tile there. So he's not going to be able to do that close attack for 2, which means I think I'm just going to spend it along with another card to do a range attack, and then spend 2 more blanks to do another range attack and just not even move. Maybe the enemies will move toward us, and in fact, if they do move toward us, it'll be kind of hopefully away from the pool. They'll moving diagonally around the board. Hopefully, that's what I would like to see. So staying on these flanking sides means they'll be moving in those directions. Whereas if, for example, Aang was here and Zhao wanted to move toward him for some reason, he might move through the pool, which is what I don't want to see. So I'm going to leave my heroes where they are. Just spend the 4 cards as 2 ranged attacks. And I guess we're hitting Zuko because we want to get those extra dominance reductions. I should have flipped that to end it. End Sokka's turn. We will draw 5 cards for Aang to end his turn. And we'll flip another tile. This time we get also a blank, so nothing happens. And we draw 1 of the enemy cards. Let's take a look what's going to happen. All right, so that first symbol is actually not on this map. So that first one is skipped. Those are not here. I guess that's the soldier icon. The next one is the bender icon. The benders are out. And so Zhao and Zuko both will move 3 and then burst attack 2. So it looks like they are moving. I can choose which of them activates first. And for each of them, when they do activate, they'll go toward whoever's closest. So for Zhao, 1, 2 would get him next to Sokka. 1, 2, 3 to get him next to Aang. Zuko needs to move 2 to Sokka or 3 to Aang. So I think they're both going to go for Sokka, actually, because he is closer to both of them. And they're both going to burst attack 2. Well, in a way that's good because Sokka's the melee attacker, the close attacker. So getting the enemies close to him means he's not going to have to move to get to them. And Aang can make ranged attacks. But yeah, I think regardless of the order I activate them in, they're both going to go to the same place and do the same thing, which is to beat up on Sokka. So he's taking 2 burst attacks, 2 from 10 down to 6. And that is the end. So we'll reset. This is discarded. And let's see who's going first for round 2. Even is Sokka again. All right. Does he have any healing? A little bit. The heroes are allowed to be in the pawn spaces. Wonder what's the safest place for Sokka to go. Well, I guess we're going to start with this rushing slice. He's going to move 1 and burst attack 1. So I'll move him 1 right in between Zhao and Zuko. So you can do 1 damage to each of them. And this is a plan. So we're going to store this on top here. Play Be the Hero. Do a free basic action and heal 1. So he's going to get it to go up to 7. Just slightly out of the danger zone. And a basic action, I'm going to make that a close attack and hit Zuko again down to 2. This is also a plan, so we'll put that on top as well. This boomerang throw is a bit of a bummer because it's a range attack, and he's currently next to both enemies, which means he can't use a range attack against either of them. You're not allowed to use a range attack against someone you are close to. So if he wants to do that attack, he's going to have to move away. The move 1 can move him to here, for example, but you also have to have a straight line through the centers of all spaces that are in between you and your target. So basically that means you can shoot orthogonally, which is straight up or straight down, or diagonally. And this is kind of a night move away. So that is not quite a diagonal or orthogonal. So if he were here, he would have a straight diagonal, and he would. That would require an additional movement. I've got 2 cards. I could make that movement, but I could use those 2 cards to make a melee attack. But I guess either way, we're only going to do 1 damage here. So I'm just going to spend these as a close attack to hit Zuko down to 1. And we didn't move yet, but then I will play the boomerang throw to move to here, and we'll just have to fail to make that range attack because there's nobody he can make it against. But it is a plan, so we'll store that here as well, and that would be a great turn to have that other card that would let Aang do all of those things. But we don't have it, so that will flip his tile over, and then we have to flip one of these over, and another blank. Okay? Again, there's Moonslayer, Explosive, and players each draw a card. So those are the 3 remaining tiles. So we know that after Aang's turn, one of those things is going to happen. Don't want that Moonslayer to happen. I did damage Zhao for 1 so far. So he would heal that and then move into the pond. Guess it's not the end of the world. Zuko, though, would move toward Zhao and burst attack, which in this case, if it happened now, would actually hit Sokka as well, but it would do some damage to Zhao. Anyway, let's see what Aang can do. All right, I got a couple of Aang's upgraded cards, and it's a pretty good combo, actually. We've got Avatar State, so this turn we're going to add 1 to each number on Aang's action cards, and then I'm going to play Earthbending, which says place 1, which is now 2, Earth tiles anywhere, then tiles on that space, each close attack 1, or 2 now because of Avatar State. So you get to place 2 Earth tiles, and then they both close attack for 2. So I'm going to put 1 here. So there's 3 of each element tile. 2 were on the board during setup. So I take the 3rd one from the side of the map. And then to place a 2nd one, there's no more, but I can move 1 that it exists. So I'm going to place this one over here. Now Zhao is surrounded by these 3 earth tiles. Only 2 of them are doing that attack. They get to do close attack 2. Oh, I was thinking it was a burst attack. Oh, I thought I was going to be able to hit Zhao and Zuko. But I guess it's just 2. But 2 hits for 2 is fine. So that's 4 damage to Zhao. That's going to put him from 7 down to 3. And that's this card done. Technically, Avatar State's in the discard pile as well, but I'm leaving it there because it's cool looking. And it's a reminder that we're adding 1 to all our cards, including Appa. So Aang and 2 other heroes each move 2. So there's only 1 other hero because we're playing just a 2-player mode. So Aang and Sokka each get to move 2 spaces. I'm going to move Aang here in line with Zuko. And then I guess just a little bit closer. And I think I'm going to have Sokka run away. Yeah, I think I'm going to have him move 1, 2 down this way. Because then if Zhao chases him for whatever reason, it will not be into the pool. If he goes after Aang, though, it will be through the pool. But I need Aang to be in line with Zuko, so I'm going to spend 2 cards to make a range attack and hit Zuko for 1. That's not increased to 2 because it's not a number on one of our cards. And I am spending Gentle Breeze as one of those 2 cards rather than using it for its effect. Aang doesn't need a heal right now, so regardless of what the numbers are, it doesn't matter because he's at full health. So that completes Aang's turn. We got some earthbending action in for the Last Airbender. That ends his turn. We flip one of these. Zuko is at 0, but or not 0. He doesn't have a 0. He has an infinity. So Zuko is at infinity health. He is dealt with. We will get -2 dominance from that bonus effect, but he stays on the board and continues to act. In fact, that tile I just flipped is the explosive icon, which says Prince Zuko moves 2 toward Admiral Zhao. He actually can only move 1 right under that earth tile, which is fine. And then he burst attacks 2, and we don't have anybody nearby. This burst attack damages heroes and enemies. So that actually puts Zhao down to 1. Thank you, Zuko. That explosive worked out quite nicely, but we need to resolve another enemy card. And Zhao and Zuko are going first, and then nobody after that, because the benders are gone and there are no soldiers. So Zhao and Zuko both move the highest strength hero 4 toward this enemy, and then burst attack 2. So the highest strength hero is Aang. All right, so we're going to take some damage, but I think that's fine. We'll have Aang get pulled into Zhao. 3 spaces will put him close to Zhao, which means he doesn't get pulled a 4th space. I have some control over where he ends up. It's up to me, but that's fine. Actually, let's have him get pulled to there. That puts him in a straight line. Well, it doesn't matter. And then a burst attack 2 from Zhao will do 2 damage to Aang, putting him down to 8 because he was at full health. And then Zhao will pull the highest strength. Oh, actually, Aang is still the highest strength. So Sokka is safe from this. Aang is already next close to Zuko, so he doesn't need to pull him at all. So he just hits for another 2. Unfortunately, this burst attack does not say that it hits enemies and allies. So it's only going to damage Aang. And Aang is up at 6 still. So safe zone. Reset these, and we should be good to go because Zuko's already effectively dealt with, and Zhao is down to a single health. But we'll roll for who gets to make the final blow. 6 again is Sokka, and he should have drawn his hand. So 2 remaining cards. Quick shuffle to get the rest of his hand, and we'll pull 3 more cards. Several of his cards are already set aside as plans, and in fact, those resolve first. So, oh, you can't range attack through Zuko. Zuko's in the way. So let's see what order we can do these plans in. Do a free basic action and heal. We'll make our free basic action a move. Heal will put him to 8. Then a boomerang throw is a move 1 and a range attack 1. A move 1, and then he cannot make a range attack. Zuko is diagonal, but he's also close, and Zhao is again a knight's move away. And then rushing slice, a move 1 and a burst attack. So move 1 and a burst attack will hit Zuko and Zhao, reducing Zhao down to 0. And Sokka's planning paid off. He didn't even have to play a card. So Zhao is down. That completes the objective, defeat Admiral Zhao. And because we did the bonus, 2 more, so we're going to drop the dominance from 14 down to 11. Just 1 away from that 10, which would let each hero remove a card from their deck, which is beneficial because you can take out some of the weaker cards and draw the more powerful cards more frequently. But we didn't quite get there. After the battle, we can choose one to continue our journey. We can choose A, recovering. Will you attempt to mend wounds by joining a troupe of musicians traveling to Omashu? Well, we don't have any wounds, so we don't need to do that one. Uprising. Will you attempt to lower Fire Nation dominance by searching an ancient library to learn about their darkest day? Go to encounter 5. That sounds nice. Or focusing. Increase Team Avatar experience by escorting refugees across a treacherous land bridge. Go to encounter 6. Well, let me see. Do I want to experience or lower the dominance? So we're pretty close to the 10, the halfway point. We've reduced it by 9, but in terms of XP, we've only gained 7. So in order to even things out again a little bit, I'm going to choose to gain some XP. That gets us closer to gaining a new card. The 10 here is green, which says gain an action card. And even though removing cards is powerful, adding cards is more fun. I don't know if I'll get 3, but at least it'll bring me a little bit closer. So let's choose focusing, escort refugees across a land bridge with encounter 6. So go into our encounter deck, and it says the Serpent's Pass. Let's make some room here. Team Avatar agrees to help a pregnant refugee and her family cross the dreaded Serpent's Pass, a narrow, winding passage over a vast Earth Kingdom lake. On the other side lies refuge from the Fire Nation in the great walled city of Ba Sing Se. Complete a focusing encounter. To win, overcome 3 conflicts, including conflicts with the air 2 and the water 2. Ooh, so this time we did a focusing encounter previously. Oh, but if we win, we will get 3 XP. Oh, but if we lose, we lose. Oh, we will increase by 1. I thought I was going to say lose 1. So we gain XP either way. Oh, I didn't even use the blue spirit. Forgot about him. All right, so don't read that. Let's clean up the board. Let's see if I can remember how this works. So I think it's air. Well, it doesn't really matter, but I think it's air and water are our allies, and fire and earth are our enemies. We make 6, make them kind of opposed to each other like that. So these are my tiles that I want to win the conflicts, and these are the enemy tiles I need to defeat. So the element tiles during the encounters are used as elements, and during these challenges, there are numbers on the back of these, numbered 1 through 3 for each element. Actually check the instructions again. All right, so basically I get to flip 2 of these to start. The rules actually show it like that, so I'll do that. I'm gonna flip, I get to flip any 2 I want. I'll just choose those 2. So now I know I've got a 3 in air and a 1 in fire. So any of my tiles that I pair against the fire, well, no, it's not guaranteed to beat it because I think I lose, or I don't win a tie. And I need to win 3, and I need to win with air 2, and I need to win with water 2, which means I have to pair my 2 against a 1. So now on each of my turns going forward throughout this little challenge, I'm going to flip 1 tile and then make a pair. I'm going to choose to flip this tile, and now I need to make a pair. And now I know that this must be the 2, so I'm going to pair the 2 against the 1, and now I know I'm going to win this, and I will have won. The air 2 is going to win. So that's good. Now I get to flip 1 tile and go again. Let's start with a water and start finding the 2 water. So a 3 will not necessarily win because it will lose if it is against another, or it'll be a tie against another 3, which means I don't win. But I don't have to win them all. I just have to win 3. And I definitely have to win with the 2. The only thing a 2 can beat is a 1, which means the 2 water has to go against the 1 earth, which means I can't afford to pair off anything against earth because I risk it being the 1. So let's take this water against one of the fires. That's fine. Maybe we lose, maybe we don't. If we're lucky, this is a 2 fire, but we'll see. And then I'll probably choose this matchup next because the 1, either I got lucky, this is a 50-50, the 1's going to lose either way. I don't know. All right, we need to find the 2. There's the 2. All right, so I know I need that, put that against the 1 earth. So now I need to find the 1 earth. I'm going to go ahead and choose this pairing. And now let's flip an earth. There's a 1. So I'll pair the 2 against the 1. And now I know that both of my 2 water and my 2 air have 1. So I'll need to win at least 1 more. Let's flip this, and that's a 3, which means this is either a 2, or this must be the 2, which means I'm going to win that one. And then I can flip 1 and pair that up. I lose that. Now that they've all been paired off, we can reveal them all and check which ones I won with. I lost this one. And looks like I won 4 of them. 3 beats 2, 2 beats 1, 2 beats 1, and 3 beats 2. So I won 4 of the 6 challenges. Air 2 1 and water 2 1. So I made that. So I get 3 experience points. And we go from 7 up to 10, which is gain an action card. And we can read our epilogue. The pass is long and treacherous. Along the way, Team Avatar must use all their skills to fend off the Fire Nation Navy, avoid rock slides, traverse submerged sections, defeat a giant lake serpent, and deliver a baby. At last, they successfully cross and arrive at Ba Sing Se. The journey continues. Just when Team Avatar thought they could rest inside the city, they discover the Fire Nation's secret weapon, a giant drill, moving toward the outer wall of Ba Sing Se. Flip to pages 12 and 13 in the book and set up Sabotage the Drill. So that'll be for next time. But let's see what cards I want. All right, for each of the heroes. So the campaign rules don't really exactly precisely cover playing more heroes in the campaign than you use in a given scenario. I've been playing only 2 characters at a time, but managing all of their upgrades as though I were playing with all 4 of them, and then just switching them out as I like, which I think works just fine. And so I'm going to choose an upgraded card for all 4 characters. We'll start with Sokka since he kept going first. So I'm shuffling all of his upgrades, and then I'm going to draw 2 of them and choose from these 2. So we can either take counterattack, do an action from the last discarded enemy card, but swap the words hero and enemy, That's kind of cool and fun. That card doesn't even work on round 1 though, which is not good. And then foolproof plan, draw a card, move, heal, and it's a plan, which means you get to do it twice. As fun and cool as counterattack sounds, I'm gonna have to take foolproof plan 100%. So add that to his deck. This one will go back into his stack of potentially for the future cards. And let's shuffle up Aang's deck and see what joins his stack along with the likes of Earthbending and Avatar State. Something that could be upgraded by Avatar, something that, or Avatar State, which has numbers on it, which would be great. So let's see, we've got Free Spirit. I think I drew this one before and declined it. After this card is discarded for any reason, Aang does 2 free basic actions. That's pretty good. And with Avatar State, that would be 3 basic actions. Although, sometimes you might discard a card when it's not really your turn, and so Avatar State wouldn't help with that. Like if an enemy caused you to discard it or something, I don't know. Cheer. Heroes close to an air tile each draw a card and move 2. That would be great in like a 4-player game or maybe even 3-player when more heroes would be affected. We could pull this off and Aang and whoever his ally is for that game could benefit from it. It's pretty good, honestly. And with Avatar State, that could be 2 cards. Each player gets to draw 2 cards and gets to move 3. You know what? I'm actually going to take Cheer here, even though it is not going to be as powerful in a 2-player game. I'm just addicted to the idea that I could draw 2 cards for each character with Avatar State. So Free Spirit will go back in the stack. And then we didn't use Katara or Toph in this scenario, but we will next time. So let's go ahead and upgrade their decks as well. Take a look at 2 cards for Toph. We got an Earthquake. Discard 2 other cards. Divide 4 damage as you choose between close enemies. So for 3 cards, I do 4 damage. That seems bad, actually. I mean, maybe as a starting card. All right, and then the other one is Metal Bending. Place an earth tile close to each fire tile. Well, that doesn't do anything. Well, Toph does have this Earth Rumble Champion ability. When a hero would take damage, she can remove earth tiles next to allies or next to heroes to prevent a damage for each earth tile removed. So being able to metal bend out some earth tiles could be okay. Man, and an Earthquake, I don't like Earthquake at all. Spending 60% of the cards in her hand to do 4 damage is not very good compared to some of the other effects. Yeah, I'm not thrilled about this, but I'm going to take the metal bending, and that will let her maybe protect her allies better. Earthquake will go back to the stack. And finally, for Katara, let's see, we get Octopus Form. Ooh, that's my favorite maneuver. I think I did draw this before and decline it. Move each water tile 2 spaces, then water tiles each close attack 1. Did I really decline that? That seems great. And then Fiercely Protective. This turn when Katara does a heal, she does a range attack with the same value. Pretty good. But I got to take the Octopus Form. Plus her hero ability lets her move people, either heroes or allies, as she moves water through them. So this moving each water tile 2 spaces could potentially let her move a lot of characters around, heroes and enemies. And then they also get to do damage. So yeah, this is a very versatile card. Definitely taking Octopus Form. Plus, I love it thematically. It's like my favorite thing from the show is when the people do the water octopus arm attacks. So those are all our upgraded decks, our completed scenario. Tune in next time to help us deal with the drill. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and bye.